Hello, I'm Jason Butler, and I was a financial advisor for 25 years. And in 2012, I won a landmark case against the Inland Revenue, and I won a tax refund of over £500,000. And this is the story of how I did it. Now, I've been running my wealth management business for many years, and part of the way that we charge clients was based on a percentage of how much money they had under advice. And for many years, we've been charging them value-added tax, which is currently 20% on all supplies. So for our annual fees to clients would be increased by 20%, and we would pay that money over to the Inland Revenue. Without going into lots of detail, there are two ways of approaching VAT and fees. Now, I was quite convinced that what we were doing qualified us to not charge the VAT. Now, everyone around me didn't agree because things have been done like that for years and no one had ever really looked at it. Now, VAT laws and regulations are extremely complex and they built up over many decades. So most people find them impenetrable. But having spent hours and hours and hours reading through the regulations, bearing in mind I'm not a VAT expert, I was convinced that we shouldn't have to pay VAT. And if I was right, that meant that the Inland Revenue would have to refund us for the last several years of VAT that we'd been paying over to them. And that amounted to several £100,000. So basically, I found an advisor who sort of vaguely thought I had a case, and he worked on a no-win, no-fee basis. So that meant that if we were successful, he would get a percentage of the refund that we got from the revenue. So rule number one, find a good professional who believes in your case or is on the right wavelength and align his or her interests with the outcome you're looking for. So in this case, I had no downside because if we won, he got paid, and if we didn't, he didn't get paid. So what we then did was we applied to the Inland Revenue and said that we don't think we should have to pay VAT on these fees. And they wrote back to us and said, no, you do. So we asked them to review the case. They got the case reviewed by a senior officer in the Inland Revenue, and he also agreed with the first officer that we should be paying VAT. So what you can then do is, if you're not happy with the Inland Revenue decision, you can then take your case to what we call the tax tribunal. This is a free service that all taxpayers can access, where basically you submit all your paperwork to the court tribunal system. It's a court system, and they review the paperwork, and as long as it meets their criteria, you then basically are in a formal process. So we got to the situation of ending up going to the tribunal, and I gave evidence, and there's a big pile of papers that we'd submitted for them that me and my professional advisor had put together. I gave evidence. The Inland Revenue had no one to give evidence other than themselves. And there's a senior judge and an assistant, both extremely experienced VAT and taxation experts. So they took the evidence over the course of a day. They went away, and 8 weeks later, they gave us the judgment. And you can look this up now online. It's called Bloomsbury v. HMRC. And this judgment sets out in writing that I and my professional advisor were correct. We shouldn't have to pay VAT on our fees, and that the Inland Revenue would have to refund us the best part of $300,000 and another $300,000 that we had sitting on deposit that we had collected in VAT. We didn't have to pay that to them either. So the net effect was, after fees to the advisor, we ended up with about £480,000 in our pocket. And what we did was we shared that both with our customers and ourselves, because obviously we took the risk and all the time and effort of bringing the case. And what that meant was there was a permanent reduction for our current and future clients in the fees that we charge, because we didn't have to charge them VAT. And also we used the balance of the money that we retained to reinvest in our business and make it better for our current and future clients. So all in all, it was a great win. So the moral of the story is, don't just accept what everyone is telling you, right? Do your own research, because there's a good chance that the majority are wrong and you could well be right. Secondly, make sure you do your homework. I spent hours after hours after hours looking at VAT rules before I went to any professional advisors. Thirdly, get good support. I had a fantastic tax advisor who took me ages to find, but he was really invested emotionally, financially, and ethically in the whole outcome. And fourthly, hold your ground, hold your nerve. And finally, be humble in the outcome. We didn't make a big song and dance of it. It happened, nearly 9 years ago. But here's the thing. There aren't many people who've taken on the Inland Revenue and won, and I'm one of them. And I'm really pleased that for everyone else, I've made it clear what is and isn't taxable when it comes to financial services and financial advice fees. You may not get as big a win as that, okay? Or you may get bigger. But here's the point. Taxation is just part of the money you're earning. and you do not have to pay any more than is necessary to the Inland Revenue. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell and the like button, and I'll see you next time.